Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, guys. God bless you. Carlos here with Serranos Mobile Detail here in Dallas, Texas. First off, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. As you guys saw in the beginning of the video, we're going to be working on this hood. What are we going to be doing? Good question. This video, I think, has been asked prior. I think I've just never done it. But today, we're going to be learning how, if there's ever been a scenario in where you show up, customers like, hey, you know, they keyed my car, can you fix it? There's many variables into keying a vehicle or trying to remove the key scratch off paint. Are we successful at times? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It just really depends on the force that the scratch was in. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm really excited for this one, actually. So to show you guys just a process or a way that I get to do this. This may become a two-part video just because it takes a process. So I don't want to bore you guys all in one video. So I'll do this one in a two-part video. The first part obviously is we're going to key the hood. The second part is we're going to be talking about the wet sanding process. All right. This video is going to be about wet sanding. All right. And then the next video will be on the polishing and how did I finish it off. So stay tuned for the next maybe two videos and let's have some fun. Alrighty, guys. So for the first part, let's scratch it up. This hood it's already pretty beat up, to be honest. We're gonna use this side right here just because I feel like this is where the light kind of hits it the best. So we're gonna be just in this area right here, and hopefully you guys are able to see this pretty good. So first thing first, I'm gonna use a key. For this scenario, your ex-girlfriend got mad and you did something, because that's what happens. Scenarios that I've seen in the past. Your ex-girlfriend got mad, scratched your car, or somebody vandalized your paint, or a customer's vehicle got vandalized. How can we repair it? All right. So let's try to scratch it up. And we're gonna do a nice deep one. Ooh, that's a good one right here. I think the worst part of keying is just the sound of it just grinding on the metal. And let's see if I can get a nice one in here. Oh yeah. And there we go. We got some decent sized scratches. We got some decent sized scratches in here. See if we can make a nice one up here. Let's see. There we go. All right. So I think for this video, these are some pretty size scratches in here. All right. This one you can feel it a little bit. All right. So that's the scenario for this video. Alrighty, guys, let's get started with obviously what you will be needing for this whenever you run into scratches. All right, you'll want some gloves for sure, just because, I mean, if you don't mind getting your skin dirty, then you know you don't have to wear a glove. I usually carry gloves with me just to kind of keep it, you know, from having all that water on the skin, or I don't know. You're also going to be needing either a pump sprayer. I usually use a Marillex 2000 just because I can literally pump it, and just the amount of times I pump it, it'll give me enough running time to spray. You're going to be needing I think these are called palm sanders. I could be wrong. And this one here, I buy all this from Walmart, so it's locally. Sometimes, you know, you'll run into issues where maybe they won't have like the sandpapers. but I literally buy everything at Walmart for sanding. This is a nice weight. You can literally hold it nicely, and it just gives you just that perfect even just that even feel, or the, you know, to just make sure you're not overdoing it. This works really well. If not, this is a number 20 wet or dry sponge pad. Works really good. I have really enjoyed using this. And as far as sanding, right, I usually try to stay within 1000 and up. I know some people sometimes will tend to go lower. As for me, I try to just stay between 1000 up to 3000 grit. So whenever you go to Walmart, they sell these kits right here. This one here has 1000 up to 2500. It gives you 2 sheets of each, I believe, or well, actually gives you 1000, and it gives you 2 1500s. It gives you 2 of the 2000s, 2 of your 2500s, but I think it's actually 2 of each. So, and it kind of tells you right here, like, this is your polishing stage type of wet sanding. So you can just literally look at that. And these are, I think, like $6 for the amount, and literally these will last you. And then lastly, I buy a bunch of the 3000s. Whenever they have them in stock, I buy them a lot. So you'll need the 3000. 3000 is your last step to the wet sanding, which you will see in the video as well. This is the finishing stage. This is the blending stage, or just making sure that every step you did prior, it just finesses nicely. Trick to this is the more you work the sandpaper, or you make it just nice flow, the better it is going to be for your polishing stage. So if you do this beginning part, is you do it too forceful, the polishing stage will get a bit more difficult. But that's just an opinion. That's just me. At the end of the day, this is just the way I do it. And hopefully the video kind of helps you out on the process. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of get everything spread out, get it ready. And then we're gonna be starting to attack this scratch here. We're gonna try to fix this whole area right here for you guys. So let me just bring you guys in real quick close so you guys can see a little bit of how it looks. And then we're gonna go step by step on the wet sanding stage. Whoa, God dang it. I need another chair. Ugh. Alrighty guys, so for this scenario, I'm going to start at 1000 on this. I'm gonna start on 1000 for this project, and then we're just gonna work our way up. Again, you don't always need 1000. It truly depends on, obviously, like I said, what you're working with, right? The scratch. So just, you know, the more you do this, the more you'll have an idea of what you'll need, right? For me, for this scenario, I can feel some of the scratches, and I want to blend this paint in as much as possible. So the steps are gonna be with the hood. There's many variables on how you want to do this. Obviously, for this scenario, you don't want to put too much force. Like, don't force it. Just let the pad do the work. And I usually just take it up and down. Always keep your paint wet. Always. Just let your wet sanding do the work. And keep a light, just a light pressure. Just let we're gonna go ahead and just do this whole hood, this whole little section here, because it all looked pretty damaged, right? So I just go in up and down motion. You want to just have a even pattern. And right now, when I wipe this, we're gonna see how it dries up, and you guys can get an idea of how your wet sanding should look when you guys are wet sanding the paint correctly. All right, and then now we're just gonna wipe this off, and let's see if this camera can catch a little bit of how it dries up in the pattern we are getting. So you can see right here, this scratch, you can still see it. Those are some pretty nice gashes on there. And all right, once your everything dries up, you're gonna see this pattern here, and it's starting to look nicely. What you want to do is make sure that in your paint you don't have these patterns right here that look kind of like bubbly. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, which you don't want your pattern to look like up here where it has these spots open still. So you want to make sure you blend it nicely. So if you see that, that just means to just kind of keep working it in. Usually I do 2 passes on the area. I do 2 passes on the area, and then we'll work our way up to our next sanding of choice. So we're just gonna go ahead and continue wet sanding. Wet sanding is just one of those things, guys, that you just have to really you have to work, and you'll figure out your rhythm, or you know what works best for you. What has worked best for me is always doing it by hand. So I tend to always wet sand by hand. I know you can use a palm sander. I've seen some people use a palm sander. As for me, I just kind of got used to doing it by hand. And let's see how this looks now. Now we gave it the second pass, and we should be getting that nice uniform. And we are. See, now it looks even much better. Now we're getting more of that matte finish, and that's what we're doing for the video. Obviously my concentration is going to be right here in the middle. I can still see the lines of the scratches, so I got them in there pretty good. So let's see if we can kind of see if we can see the scratches. They're all right here. There's some right there, so you can still see them. You can still see them. So I'm gonna do maybe just one more pass. When you wet sand, guys, many people think that wet sanding is a small, for me, I feel like it's just a small fraction of what we're removing off the clear. I'm just doing one more pass right here, just to kind of make it nicely uniform. All right. All right, that should be pretty good. So that's 3 passes I did right there, and we're gonna wipe it off. Nice. And that looks pretty good, guys. We're now gonna just bump up to the we're gonna bump up to 1500. I usually like to do I'll do usually 2 to 3 good passes on for the beginning stage, and then as you guys can see, this it just looks nicely uniform. And then I tend to do one nice pass with 1500, and I know this is a extended video, guys, and I don't know if some of you have been wanting to maybe see a video like this, but I hope this video at least is some sort of educational video, or at least kind of helps you guys out on this process. So I usually do just one good pass on 1500, as is, like this. And then I will wipe it off. We will bump up to a 2000. I feel like that should be pretty good. When you're wet sanding, guys, you never want to rush the process. So take your time, don't rush it, and you should get just a nice uniform look. So as it's drying, I have that nice matte finish, and that's what I'm looking for. Your wet sanding, guys, has to finish out just like this. It kind of looks like a matte paint in a way. Everything is nicely uniform. All right, and now we bumped up to 2500. We're at 2500 right now, and like I said, we'll do one good pass. As I stated prior, I tend to, the first wet sanding number, which is 1000 that I use, I'll do about 3 passes on that just to really get in there, and then the rest I will just do 1 pass of each, and it should clean out really nice. So this is 2500. All right, and that should be good. Perfect. This is turning out really nice. So the scratches are pretty much gone. I can still see a little bit of the lining, which is very normal. You're always gonna see the lining. And now we are going to finish off at 3000 really quick. And I already had a new 3000, which is right here, and we're gonna finish it off at 3000 really quick. Always keep it wet your sanding paper, and I'm gonna use my palm sand or my palm block and press it in. Sorry guys, I should have had this one ready for y'all. All right, 3000, and just let the block do the work. Always keep your block flat. This is finessing, or just finishing off all the work we've done, is just cleaning it up so that tomorrow when we come back and finish this off, it will finish nicely. We'll do one more quick pass on here, dry it off. Quick tip, guys, whenever you wet sand, you always want to keep the same pattern, guys. You always want to keep that same pattern all the way around. You don't want to go from up and down to circles or take it diagonal. Just try to keep it uniform at all times, because what tends to happen is if you change the pattern of your wet sanding to polish off, that's where it becomes very stubborn at times. And oh yes, look at this, guys. This is what I was after right here. So let me show you guys how this looks now. You're able to see the gloss through the paint. In the beginning you couldn't, and if you take it higher and higher on the wet sanding number, this gets even cleaner and cleaner as you go. But this is your end goal. whenever you wet sand, this is how your wet sanding should look. Nicely uniform, as you guys can see it here. All right, nicely uniformed, and that's what you want. Okay, you don't want to have some of this. Obviously, here's because of the tape and stuff, but you don't want your finished product to have all these kind of like little bubbles all around your wet sanding. So you want to have this nice gloss matte look. This looks really beautiful. All right, so that's how you want to have it. Alrighty guys, so there you have it for steps number 1 through 5. But this is your initial step. So this video was the initial video of what you will need, right? You're gonna need some, you're gonna need a sprayer or pump sprayer with water. You're gonna need all the wet sanding numbers that I showcased in this video. You're gonna need some sanding blocks, preferably. And tomorrow we're gonna go over the finishing stage, right? The polishing stage, how it's gonna turn out. So I hope that tomorrow, once we polish all this out really nicely, it'll look really good. So I can't wait to see the final process on this. I'm just gonna leave everything as is, and then tomorrow we'll come back and we're gonna finish this project off. Today was just intro video number 1 to wet sanding. If you guys definitely enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up or leave in the comments, you know, what you think. What did you think when you started wet sanding? Were you scared, or, you know, how did you learn wet sanding? Hopefully this video will just kind of guide you in the direction that you need, and hopefully get you to getting some more money in your pocket. So anyways, you guys have a blessed Saturday. Be safe. I'll see you next time.